just waiting to meet up with my father, who is on a multi-day trek through Algonquin Park. We're doing a resupply run for him, joining him for 2 nights and then 2 nights solo on our own. My first ever solo paddling canoe trip. So we'll see how it goes. I've got Slightly here for extra bow weight, just in case it gets a bit windy. He's a lily dipper though, so I don't think he'll be helping very much with the paddling. To find myself where the trees grow tall, open skies and winding trails ground me, keep me calm. Left my world just yesterday to be right where I am. A moment of forest is all I need, and I'll be here whenever I can. I'll return whenever I can. Lunch. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Keep going. As we approached our first portage of our trip, Slightly got really excited. Portaging is his very favorite part, and especially when it means getting to meet up with the other canoe and my father again. Okay, Papa. Okay. Good boy. Step. Good boy. Over here. Yes, over here. This is the lake that we have booked our campsites on tonight, so now it's just time to go and scout them out and pick the best one. Here's a look at my tarp pitch for tonight. I'm just trying out something new. I've got a partial ground sheet with some corners of the tarp folded under. It's the morning of our second day, and here's a little better view of our tarp after a night of sleeping in it. I put up the bug net in the middle of the night. You can see in the back there's my partial ground sheet. And the flaps at the opening I could actually close as a door, but it didn't get too windy and there was no precipitation overnight, so it's almost like a modified plow point pitch. We've packed out camp and we're headed out on our way to the next campsite. It's really looking like rain and feeling like it today, and I think the wind is picking up, so we'll see what the day has in store. I always find all sorts of gems on portages. Slightly does too. We've already got lots of beautiful autumn colors coming down and covering the trail. Slightly's so good. He comes back and forth with me each trip that I do of the portage, once with the pack and the canoe. So we started out onto Smoke Lake, and we weren't even far out from the portage, and it was already obvious that it was really windy. So I've got the double-bladed paddle, and I only ran the camera when it was actually pretty easy going, and it was not very easy going. So we were headed into a headwind the whole way. There were very few places for us to hide and take little breaks in calm little sheltered bays.
Yeah, it is. It's way better already. I feel like I'm going forwards.
After quite a hard travel into a headwind, we finally landed at a campsite that we were just so tired we decided this would be the campsite for tonight. It was actually really exposed. There was a lot of wind on that site and not a whole lot of tree coverage. It looked like it would be a really ideal spot for a midsummer camp, and it was just a wee bit bare for what we were hoping for, but we made it work. Slightly found a beautiful Victory Rock, and behind him here you can see my really low Tarp Pitch. It's basically the same that I did last night, but I changed where the ridgeline was, so I've got a few additional tie-out points here. You can see how the corners are tucked under again for a ground sheet in anticipation of rain tonight. It's really low to the ground because of the wind, and so far it seems to be nice and tight, plays like a drum. This is our third day. This is the view that we've got in the morning, and I called it, we've got a north wind, so I will be paddling straight into the wind for the second day in a row. It started raining around 7:30 on Tuesday night, and it rained all night. You saw how low my tarp pitch was, and it was really tight, so it played like a drum and the rain just bounced on it right above my head all night. I'm going on about 3 hours of sleep here, but I'm headed into a headwind. It's really wet. I'm totally soaked, and I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do my exact plan of staying 2 more nights in the park, because Slightly spent a lot of the morning shivering already, and he's been hypothermic on a canoe trip in the past, so I'm not sure that I want to be taking that risk. Even though I'm moving lots, I'm so cold, I'm so wet, and honestly, the lake is so much warmer than the rain and the air right now. It's so tempting to just jump in it for extra warmth, and that is not a good sign. I know this lake was so cold yesterday. There's a beautiful moon over there. You can see all the rain far off. Oh boy. I'm using my double-bladed paddle again here. I was headed into a headwind. Didn't seem to be as bad as the day before. It was fairly manageable. I mostly paddled with my eyes closed because the rain was just so much. We're getting to a point where I was seriously considering trying to do my next 2 days of my trip all in one day, so that would be a total of 5 portages, just Slightly and I. And we were just going to get to the bay where we could go towards the portage and reevaluate, see how we were both doing. At this point, I was watching Slightly and he was shivering uncontrollably. I still was feeling like I wanted to try it out and try to do at least one more night in the park, get to the next campsite as planned. Upon rounding this corner, I can't even see the land that I'm headed towards. It got so windy so wavy, and it felt like I was actually not traveling anywhere. It was really stressful. It was really hard paddling. Slightly was shivering uncontrollably, and despite the wind whipping around us, he was starting to close his eyes in a sleepy kind of way, and that is really unusual for him. He's often very alert while in the canoe, never drowsy, never sleeps, and so this was a bit frightening for me, and it was sort of what decided what we would do next. It looks so calm. It's so deceiving. It looks so beautiful until you're actually paddling in it. I take back what I said before about it not being as windy and wavy. It's as windy and wavy as yesterday. I have a poor little shivering adventure buddy here with me. He keeps rolling with me. We just found a tiny little bay. My shoulders are burning. That was a lot of hard work. It was really hard to see. There was so much rain pouring into my eyes. I think we've decided that we're not going to do 2 days worth of tripping in one day. It's really windy and my doodle is shivering, and I do not want him to go hypothermic. So the portages would warm him up, but I don't think it's enough. I think we need to plan on exiting today. We will find the highway from this lake that we're on and then figure out a way to get back to the car. If it's hiking in the rain, it's hiking in the rain. We can hike 10K in the rain, we've done that before. And at least this guy will be moving. We can pick up the car, come back by the boat and the gear. That'll be our tentative plan for now. We'll see what actually happens. Wish us luck. What's he doing? He looks almost as cold as I am. He was flapping his foot at me just a minute ago. It thinks his foot. That's so funny. I've never seen a loon do that. We did make it out safely. We actually ventured and found some folks who were lovely and gifted slightly some blankets to warm up in. We got a lift back to our car, got our car to our gear, and then headed home.